Warning: this podcast episode contains swearing, drinking, and mentions of suicide and violence. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to Demons and Bellinis, the podcast where we whip up a drink and talk about some spooky shit. I'm that bitch who's just thrusting her fists against the post and still insisting that she sees the ghosts. Molly.
And I'm a ghostly bastard. Ashley.
Beautiful.
Today I'm going to be telling the story of the Caldwell Hill House of Halifax, Nova Scotia. So grab a beverage of your choosing, get cozy, check your monsters for closets, and remember to stay peachy.
So, I know that we mentioned this before, but we record episodes back to back so that I do the first episode and then Ashley does it. But in between us recording the Swift Runner episode, and now we've been in a very giggly mood. I think the gin hit Ashley quite hard.
It did.
So
I had to take half an hour to come back down to earth.
Yeah. She was literally lying on my floor just laughing. It was really fun, though.
I tried to show her a photo of Gia Gunn, but it turned out to be a YouTuber I watched, and I was like, oh, she's so hot, I hope she wins. And I turned my phone around, and it's a photo of Smitty, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's not Gia Gunn.
It was really, really funny.
And Molly just goes, yeah, when I showed her that, because she didn't know what to do, and I was just cackling because I thought it was Gia Gunn, and Gia Gunn's so hot, and then I turned my phone around, and it was not Gia Gunn.
So yeah, long story short, we're going to be in a very giggly mood. Hopefully it'll be an entertaining episode. Hopefully you can understand us. Yeah.
And I made the mistake of choosing this story because it is very hard to find information about this story. There's also photos I don't have on my phone that I need to look up. But it's very hard to find information about the story. And I heard about it on a tour when I was last in Halifax. So a lot of it is my memory, which right now is a bit blurry. Halifax is full of folk stories and Halifax, Canada.
Yeah, we've covered a case in Halifax before.
Yeah, which one was? Oh yeah, it was the
Poltergeist.
So it's it's full of folk stories. A lot of it is Celtic background because there's a lot of people immigrated from that area to
the British Isles.
Yeah, to Nova Scotia, and they brought with them a lot of their folk stories that kind of influenced the stories that people in Halifax tell now. And this one is kind of like that. It does involve some Celtic folklore, which I'm super excited about.
Oh shit, I love Celtic folklore.
Yeah. So for those of you who are from Halifax or from Canada, if you do know about the story, the Caldwell Hill House is also better known as the Black Window House. Because if you go online and you type in Caldwell Hill House, you'll notice that on one of the sides there are 3 windows, and the middle window, which is the dining room window, is all black. The glass itself is black, not just painted, the glass is black. So I'm about to show Molly a photo right now. There you go. That's how black it is.
Yeah, that's sucking out light kind of black.
Yeah, there's zero light coming into that window. You can see it from the other windows that there's it's clear glass. That one, not clear at all. It's just complete black.
Do you know what it looks like from the other side? Can you just not see outside, or?
There's no photos from inside the house, probably because the owners now don't really let people in or talk about it, really. Because it is a pretty popular story, and they don't, they try to, not encourage it. So there's 0 photos from the inside of the house. But, there are stories about how throughout the years they've tried to replace the window, and every single time that they've replaced it, it's gone back to black within a day. So, like, they put up a new window, the next day it's black again, and there's, like, nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
So it's super bizarre, and there's no real explanation as to why it keeps turning black or why it's black.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different stories about why. So I'm going to tell you some of those stories.
Oh,
because
ghost stories, yay.
Yeah. So there's 5 different stories. So the house itself was built in 1840 for a man called William Caldwell, hence the name, and he ended up becoming Halifax's first mayor in 1851 after it was incorporated. The thing I love most about Halifax is that it's older than Canada is as a country, and there are so many houses in Halifax that are older than, like, the actual, like, name Canada, which is just, like, so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in, like, Canada wasn't born until 1867. Canada wasn't a country until Vimy Ridge. Like, shut the fuck up. No, that's not what I mean. I just mean in, like, the whole, like, 1867, like, before that date.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So these stories are super vague, and like I said, it's pretty much impossible to find a lot of resources on them. So, a couple of these are from, like, Reddit threads from people from Halifax talking about it. Another one is from the actual, like, heritage website that Halifax has, where it lists all the heritage buildings, which is, like, pretty much every single building in Halifax. But it lists all of them, and one of the stories is from that website, which is government run, which is interesting. And then the other one is it's from my own memory of a story that the tour guide that I went on for the Halifax Ghost Tour, which is amazing. If you're ever in Halifax, please go on the Halifax Ghost Tour, starting at the Citadel and working its way down to the harbor. It's so good!
Nice.
But yeah, so, yeah, okay, here we go. So it starts off kind of, like, interesting, and then it gets more and more bizarre as we go.
But it's interesting the whole way through, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's, like, it starts off kind of like, okay, maybe, like, and then it gets really fucking bizarre.
Okay.
So the first story, it's not really a story, it's just an idea, or not idea, but, like, one person said this is how the window turned black, was that a man hung himself from the tree outside the window, and that possibly could have, like, caused the glass to turn black, though I don't really believe that one. It's a little bit So,
okay.
The next one is that a child was shot through the window by someone he lived with in the house, and the window turned black with mourning.
Yeah, okay.
So that one's
sad.
That one's really sad.
Sad, I don't like that.
Yeah, that one's kind of bizarre, and, like, these are, like, again, I could not find anything to support these. Again, it's just, like, folklore. Like, you know, people are trying to explain it.
Reddit is basically just modern folklore.
Yeah. The next one is that you might like this one. A man claimed that he saw witches dancing inside the house through...
Yeah.
He saw them dancing in the house, like, in the dining room through that window.
Nice.
And then they saw him looking, and so they turned the window black to stop him from looking at them.
I love that. I have, my window, which we're right beside right now, I have it slightly open because I have a bunch of plants that are on the windowsill. And my parents are always, like, mentioning, like, oh, someone could see you through that. So which is why I, like, don't change in my room. But, like...
Turn the window black.
Yeah, exactly. But my plants would be able to get enough light. Maybe I can just make it, like, a one-way window.
Well, what kind of, like... Just, like, a curious question. Like, what kind of, like, magic would that fall under? Like, turning glass black?
I don't know. Honestly, a lot of the magic that I work with is, like, more energy-based. But I feel like that would be transfiguration. But that's, like, very Harry Potter-esque.
Yeah. Because it does sound kind of like... That one does kind of, like, make sense in that... Even when they tried to replace the window with a new window, it kept turning back to black.
Then yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. But, yeah, no, I don't know a whole lot about that subject.
Yeah, this one was one of the stories that kept coming up a lot, which is kind of interesting.
That is really interesting, yeah.
Compared to, like, the kid being shot through the window.
I find, like, that kind of witchcraft so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, all that kind of, like, that kind of era of witchcraft. This whole idea, like, especially like, the witch trials and, like, the British Isles. Like, my girlfriend is actually related to the last witch who was burned at the stake.
What?
At her area, in her area.
Holy shit.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
I know. God, people... I don't know if there's anyone from, like, people from England, like, you, like, or Europe in general, like, you guys don't appreciate how much history you have around you. It's so fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a project on the Mouse Malficarium.
Oh, God.
Which was, like, all about...
witch hunting.
Yeah, witch hunting. And that book is indirectly responsible for, like, 400 people plus
I watched a whole documentary on that. That was the whole witch trials that took place in England, right? Yeah. Yeah, with the witch hunter. And then there's also the Pendle Child. The one who, like, she told, like, the law that their whole family were witches. Oh. And she was, like, 6 years old at the time.
Oh, Jesus.
And so, like, there's, like, this whole, like, debate on, like, why did she, like, tell it to the court, like, what happened to her. But then what was also interesting is that after this case, there was no other documents about her. However, someone who shared her name was later hanged when she would have been 26.
Oh.
So.
That's interesting.
For witchcraft, yeah. Sorry, that's just, like, a weird tangent. I really like documentaries on witches, and I like witch history in general. That's how I originally covered up my witchcraft obsession with my mom, is that I would just, like, say, like, oh, yeah, I'm doing research on the Salem witch trial.
But yes, like, this witch, like, if this story were true, it would have to have been sometime between, like, it would have to have been after 1840, which is when the house was built, so it's, like, Victorian-era witches. Yes. I'd love to write a story about Victorian witches. Oh, God. I
love Victorian photographs as well, and just, like, this, like,
I think it's interesting, too, how, like, you couldn't really get hanged for witchcraft in the Victorian era, but people still threw that around. Like, oh, you're a witch!
Yeah.
Right? But, like, you couldn't get hanged for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that that's not a thing anymore. So I'm very openly a witch. I have, like, I have tarot cards on my, like...
We're literally sitting beside your, like, Value Village witch hat hanging on your bedside right now.
Yeah, I have, like, a crystal ball. I have a cauldron, plants on my windowsill, like I said. I have crystals everywhere. I have my plants. I have like a pendulum board. My pendulum, my tarot cards. Just, yeah. We're in a witchy room today.
Yeah, my mom is, like, a kitchen witch.
Oh, I love that.
And, like, I do tarot and stuff like that, and she does sage and stuff. So my house kind of has a little bit of magic in it, but it's not as much as your house.
Yeah, this whole room is, like, warded. I have, like, sigils on every single corner.
Yeah.
Sorry, getting into my own witchy thing. But I think that's always fun to talk about. Anyway.
Yes. About us.
About us. About me.
I feel like another theory, this is kind of my theory. This house, the Caldwell Hill House, it was built on a piece of land that was used by the British military as a Protestant cemetery.
Okay.
So that it was called Camp Hill, hence Caldwell Hill House. Mm-hmm. So it was built technically on a cemetery for soldiers and other military personnel. So it's like, that's just asking for trouble. So, like, it's possible that this house, you know, could have some energy, even if it didn't have the black window kind of aspect. I feel like it would still have some energy because it was built on a gravesite. You know, you should never desecrate the dead or they're gonna fuck you up. It's like being woken up way too early on a Monday.
Oh, yeah, mood.
Yep.
I went to bed at 3 a.m. last night.
I noticed that.
And I got up at 6, or no, not 6, sorry, I got up at 8:30.
You messaged me at 3:30.
Yeah, to see that I got concert tickets for us. Because, like, I have, like, this internal alarm clock where I have to wake up at 8:30 every single day.
Oh, yeah, no, me too.
Yeah. I know, because, like, yeah.
I forgot to turn my alarm clock off, though, this morning, and I woke up at 5:30 because it went off at 5:30.
Ugh, gross. Yeah. Yep. But, yeah, I mean, like, again, the whole thing with, like, because I was just thinking about European stuff, but, like, there's, like, this, like, whole idea that, like, in a certain period, I think it was, I want to say the 17 or 1800s, but they started running out of grave space, and so they had to, like, build on top of this stuff. Grave sites are so cool. I love talking about this and not in a creepy way.
My favorite thing is when people accidentally, like, they go to make a, like, that one story in London a couple years ago where they went to start building a parking lot and they discovered a King of England buried there.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, who was it? Was it Charles something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was, like, one of the kings from, like, the 13 or 1400s, and they hadn't been able to find his gravesite, and then they found it in a parking lot.
What was the parking lot for? Was it for, like, fucking Walmart? Because that would be so much...
No, it was, like, so just funny. Some office building or something. Okay. But yeah.
Less fun.
I love those stories so much. It's just, like...
Imagine if it was a Walmart, though, and it was, like, the Walmart was haunted by the King of England. So you just be walking down aisle 5 at midnight and you just see like a fucking 1400s king just standing there. That sounds like British Gothic.
That happens in 7-Elevens all the time. What are you talking about?
That's true. 7-Elevens are liminal spaces.
We should. Oh,
liminal spaces.
I need to do an episode on liminal space. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready to hear probably the most wild, most bizarre story you've ever heard?
I'm ready.
Okay. The tour guide told the story, like, in the most amazing way, and I'm gonna try to, like, recreate that.
Can I tempt you into doing a voice for us?
No.
Aww. Boo.
Boo, you whore! Yeah. My uncle, like, tipped him, like, $20. He was such a good tour guide.
Mm.
Please tip your tour guides. Nobody ever thinks to tip the tour guide. They work hard.
Oh, yeah. I tip wherever I go. I tip, like, tattoo artists. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Tip your... If it's, like... Yeah, just tip. There's no rules. Just tip.
Just tip. They'll appreciate it. It's common decency. But then again, apparently it's not, like, common... Or, like, sometimes when you tip in other areas, people find it offensive.
Oh.
So, it very much depends.
If you're in North America or Canada...
Vancouver, tip.
Yeah, Vancouver, we're all poor and dying.
Please tip us, which you can find us at coffee. Our coffee website. Demons and Bellinis. Tip us. Please. We love you.
Sorry, I'm just checking my phone because my boyfriend's texting me.
Oh, tell him that I say hello.
Ow! Sorry, I'm just readjusting my legs.
I am so drunk today.
Okay, so, sorry. Segueing back to what I'm...
Segue!
Yep. So the story is absolutely bizarre, and I love it because it's so fucking bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, this is from my memory. A lot of things I can't kind of remember, like names. So, unfortunately, I don't have a name for this guy, but I'm gonna do my best.
Can we call him Charles?
Anyways, so, after Caldwell lived there, the tour guide said that there was a man who lived in that house.
Charles?
Sure. Let's call him Charles. He lived in this house, and he was a entrepreneur, and he had tried several different business ventures, but all of them failed, and he soon found himself bankrupt. He was like...
Charles.
He was, like, at the end of the line. He had no money, super in debt, and, you know, it's, like, rock bottom for him.
Yeah.
And so he was sitting at his dining room table one night, and he says aloud that he is so desperate that he would make a deal with the devil.
Charles, not a good idea.
He said that out loud.
Charles, you dumb slut.
A few moments later, he hears 3 knocks at his door.
We all know what 3 means.
Mocking of the Trinity! You know, so it is actually, like, Celtic folklore. And I was talking to my Uncle Eben. He's like from northern Nova Scotia, so he knows a lot about mythology, like, or folklore, and he loves the paranormal, but I kind of get my kind of, like, thinking about the paranormal from him, because he believes that it's not necessarily like, ooh, right? He thinks of it more of like, it is a science that we will eventually solve. There's an explanation for it. We just haven't figured it out yet. And turning it into, like, all these big giant stories is pointless and not actually achieving anything. Which is kind of like,
that is interesting.
I disagree with him on that.
Yeah.
But
I like the idea of it not being a science that we can really describe it. Because I kind of see my own craft in a very similar way, where I feel like I'm emitting certain energies out into the world.
Yeah.
And that is, again, a science that we just don't understand right now. And that does, in turn, bring in results. Kind of like setting off a rippling effect, almost, is the way that I see it. Because, I mean, there's not really any way to measure it, but that's just my own perception of it. It depends, but I think it's a very... I mean,
I think it is a science,
I just like candles and I chant sometimes. It's really fun.
He also hates Ghost Adventures with a passion. Every time I bring it up, he's like, fuck that guy. He gets
fuck
so...
Zach Bagans.
He gets so mad about it. It's so funny. Anyway...
You know, it'll be a fun episode. Sorry, I was just thinking about this, but you know, it'll be a fun episode. The Curse of Post Malone.
Shut the fuck up. If you say what I think you're gonna say, I'm gonna get up. Dirty boy.
Bye. It's the second time she's left today.
Dirty boy.
I also think that the Dybbuk box would be a really fun episode to do.
You know what else would be a fun episode to do?
Molly not making any jokes about Post Malone for an entire episode.
Yeah.
I did not make a Post Malone joke in the last episode. You know I had to do it to him. Again, this is why we need to have a visual podcast.
They always always say that he had to do it to him, but they never
asked who did it to him. I have lipstick on my hand.
That sounds like a you problem, Molly.
Yeah, and it really is a me problem. I have not felt this far gone in a long time in terms of our episodes. You were right. We had a drink that we had in our first episode called Queensborough Gin Twist. Orange peel flavor. And jasmine.
It's hardcore.
Yeah. And now I'm just having some, I had some Summersby. And then right now we have Pop Shop hard soda.
That shit's good.
That shit's really good.
Okay. Oh, we can do this.
Yes! This is the essence of Demons and Bellinis.
This is what you guys are listening to for free. Please support us with money.
Tip your local ghost kids. You're a ghost kid.
I am the ghost kid.
I'm witch bitch.
You're the bitch kid.
Bitch kid.
Anyways, so he says out loud that he's so desperate that he would make a deal with the devil, and he hears 3 knocks on his door. So anyways, as I was saying, even my uncle told me that in Celtic folklore, if you ever hear 3 knocks on your door, it doesn't even have to be like you summoned it or said anything out loud. If you hear 3 knocks on your front door, never answer it, because it's the devil.
That's very interesting.
Right? And
what if it's just your pizza delivery guy?
Fuck him, it's the devil. But you know, it's specifically 3 knocks, like 1, 2, 3. Don't answer it.
Okay.
Because it's the devil.
That's very interesting.
And that's like a common story like throughout the Celtic folklore.
How many times do you knock on a door? What's your what is your knock language?
Probably 3.
Mine is.
That's a lot.
That's 5.
I think I'm 2.
You're 2?
Yeah, I think I'm 2.
I mean, she just texts people and says, "I'm here." When she's, like, literally, like, maybe, like, 50 yards away. Yeah. And then I'll answer the door, and then I'll just see her walking.
Technically, I'm there, okay?
You are, yeah. You're very close. You're close enough that I can see you.
Yeah, and then I, like, Fortnite dance on your sidewalk.
Yeah, which she did. That's how she greets people.
Dab on the haters.
Get out of here, Logan Paul.
Okay.
No, please don't. I don't want to do this alone.
Okay, but anyways, so he hears 3 knocks on his door, and like a fucking idiot, he gets up and answers the door.
Fucking Charles.
And who does he find?
The devil.
The devil.
What does he look like? Was he sexy?
Probably.
Devil went down to Halifax looking for a soul to steal.
I mean, I love those, like, Victorian era drawings of Lucifer because they're always so hot. And then the church is like, hey, can you tone that down? And then they just made him hotter. But, like, I love these stories of people just randomly encountering the devil. He just kind of shows up. It's like, in Ireland, in Loftus Hall, where the devil just showed up and played cards, and then it was like, fuck, he's got horse hooves.
Fuck, I want to hear about this case another time.
It's Ghost Adventures. It was, like, the last Halloween special with Nick.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's really good. It's freaky, though. It's the one where, like, Aaron, like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyways. So he answers the door and it's the devil. And the devil's like, hey, I heard that you're having some hard times. Perhaps I can help you out there, buddy. He probably said it in a lot more eloquent terms. I'm pretty sure that the devil has, like, oh, no, he's got, like,
Why are we coming up with the headcanons of the devil?
He's got, like, one of those, like, sexy transatlantic accents. And, like... Okay. Yeah, and that's in, like, or, like, one of the, like, sexy European accents.
Okay.
And then he's all, like, he, like, what does thou like to live deliciously? I'm gonna die, and the devil's gonna be like, hey, you made fun of me. You're going to heaven for that, because I don't want anything to do with you. I'm like, fuck yeah.
I'm not even a Satanist, and I found that offensive.
I'm sorry. I grew up Catholic, so
did I. Okay, I didn't grow up Catholic. My mom took me to church, but my dad is very much against religion. He was not even cool with me being a witch. That was kind of weird. But then here I am now wearing a necklace with a crow skull and a pentagram on it. Also, I got a crow skull tattoo. That was really fun. The same time that she got a cross tattoo.
Yeah, well, no, it's the
Florence and the Machine.
Sacred Heart.
Yeah, Sacred Heart.
Or the Sacred Heart of Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
But Florence and the Machine used it, and then I got it for Florence and the Machine. But I also really like the imagery of the Sacred Heart. So,
it's very beautiful, yeah. We found out that our Instagram, sorry, we're just going really off tangent here, but we found out that our Instagram theme actually has the Cross of St. Peter's
Yeah, the upside down cross right now on our Instagram feed.
Which is not necessarily satanic. It's more about St. Peter's not being worthy of crucified the same way that Jesus was. But that's just...
It was still, like, super unsettling. I was waiting for the bus, and I looked at the feed, and I was like, holy shit, that's an upside down cross. That was unintentional.
In case you're wondering, that was unintentional.
Yeah, if you go into our feed right now...
I mean, not right now, because this is on December the 8th that we're recording this.
Yeah, but if you saw it on December the 8th, then it's... Then it's an upside down cross.
This episode's a train wreck. Keep on talking about Charles. I want to hear about my boy.
Okay.
Devil went down to Georgia.
You're gonna have so much fun editing this.
Yeah, I really am.
So the devil tells him that if he signs his book, if he makes a deal with them for 20 years, he will be, like, the richest man in the British Empire.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, the devil will come to collect his due.
Uh-huh.
And so Charles, being, like, super down on his luck and super desperate, he goes, okay, I'll sign your book. So he he makes a deal with the devil, and then the devil, leaves, like, walks back out the door like a gentleman he is. And then Charles goes, fuck, what have I done? And he freaks out. He, like, completely loses it. And he's, like, freaking out. He's like, how do I get out of this? I need to get out of this. I need to make a deal with the devil. I'm gonna go to hell. I need to, like, get out of this right now. So, in his, like, panic, he figures that this is the best way to do it. He ties a noose to the chandelier in the dining room and attempts to hang himself. This is when it gets fucked up.
Okay.
So he, like, kicks out the chair and he, like, starts to fall with this noose when a hand comes through the window. And he turns and sees that it's the devil standing on the other side of the window, reaching through the glass. He grabs Charles, and he takes major offense to the fact that he tried to get out of the deal, and just drags him to hell from there. And because the devil put his hand through that window, it is forever black. Here's the interesting part. Apparently, in that dining room, the tour guide said, is that there, about the spot where, like, Charles would have done this, there is a black mark on the floor that seeps through to the ceiling of the basement, and then there's a black mark on the basement floor, and they don't know how far down it goes.
That's such a cool story. I love that.
Right? It's so messed up. I was so freaked.
I love that.
I was so freaked out by the story when I heard it. It didn't help, too, that the tour guide did that thing that ghost tour guides do when they, jump at people. Yeah. And he did that to me while he was telling the story, and I screamed so loud in the middle of hell.
Ashley, can I ask you a question?
What?
Do you believe in the devil? Do you believe in an evil energy that could be perceived as the devil?
Okay, I think so, because for me, I believe, not because I was raised Catholic, so I can't really shake the feeling that there is, like, a bigger force, because that's just what I grew up with. Not necessarily God, like the way that Catholics see God. I kind of believe in, like, the power of the universe. Like, the universe itself is God is a woman! It's Ariana Grande. Sorry. Ariana Grande's God. But, I believe in the power of Ariana Grande.
I go to the Church of Ariana Grande.
Thank you. Next. So yeah, I like, believe in this whole, like, force of the universe kind of thing. Not just, so, it kind of makes sense that there would be, like, you have the force of the universe, which can be, like, neutral, and, or good or bad. There maybe is, like, a kind of dark entity force out there. I mean, like,
it would make sense.
Yeah. And, like, just saying, like, oh, it's God or the devil is very Western and Catholic, and it doesn't quite make sense to put that to it. And it's also very human to try to, like, put things into good versus bad when it's not always the case. So, I mean,
we live in a world full of spectrums.
Yeah. And, like, Paradise Lost, Satan is, like, the victim, so.
I read Paradise Lost.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking wild, yeah. Milton. What a dude.
What a dude. Yeah, so that's, like, kind of the last thing, and, like, apparently the tour guide said that, that family does, that lived there since, like, the 70s, they do experience some shit in the house, but they don't like to talk about it. Halifax has a window thing. I have, like, one more story. It's not to do with, like, the Caldwell House, but it does have to do with a window, and if you're from Halifax, you know the story. So there is a church, I believe it's St. Paul. So,
St. Paul?
The St. Paul's Church in Halifax. So, the church, St. Paul's, is, like, pretty big. It's, like, in the, middle of Halifax. So, and it was built before the Halifax explosion in 1917 during World War One.
I know
which
that one.
was when, two, like, tanker ships, collided and caused probably the biggest man-made explosion to date until the atomic bomb, which killed so many people. There's an amazing exhibit at the Maritime Museum in Halifax where they have these little bags, and they because so many bodies were just like unrecognizable and obliterated, that they had bags full of little belongings, and that was how family members had to identify them, was just by the little belongings they had. And one of them was for, like, a school-aged kid who was, like, 12 years old, and all it was, like, a pencil, an eraser, a notebook, and, like, a little bouncy ball. And that was how, like, a family would have had to identify their kid. Yeah. So Halifax explosion is pretty messed up. So there's the church, and the story goes is that one of the windows was, like, the windows were blown out, and they were replaced, and when they were put back, it looked, and one of the windows, I'll show you a photo.
Okay.
We will post these photos.
Yes.
It looks like there is a face, and the story goes is that someone went through that window. It was believed to be, like, I think it was one of the priests at the time, went through the window, and when they went to put it back, the face formed. So do you see it in that top right little, there we go. Do you see it?
Yes,
so
I do.
It looks like the the sideways thing of a man, and people said that formed after the Halifax explosion, and that it was like the ghostly image.
Interesting.
However, they debunked it, to use Ghostbusters language.
Aww.
It has something to do with the glass, and it was warped when they put it in.
Boo.
Causing it to make it look like that.
Boo.
But if you look at it, it does look like there's a silhouette of a man
That's
in
fun,
that
though.
window. So you can, like, yeah.
I mean, oh God, I just like ghost stories in general. I don't mind if it's, like, real or not. They're just fun.
Yeah.
So,
Alright, so I need to go take care of Molly, because after our break, I'm now the somewhat sober one, and Molly's the fucked up one. That's all I have for now. I will probably return to Halifax again, because I love Halifax.
yeah, can I come with you?
I mean, like, telling Halifax stories, not actually going to Halifax, because I don't have money to go to Halifax.
Yeah, fair.
Because it's so expensive to fly within Canada. But I want to tell a story about, like, McNabb's Island and a couple of other cool stuff, because I love Halifax.
I'd love to know more stories about Vancouver and Victoria.
Yeah, I should do that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I ended up cutting it out of the episode, but we were talking about maybe doing a trip to Victoria. Yeah.
We'll see.
It'll be fun. Yeah. All right. Well, take care.
Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah, hope your January is going well. Yeah, support us on Coffee. Check us out on all of our social medias. Support code 1033. All that jazz. Yeah, fun stuff. All right.
Stay safe.
Yeah,
stay
stay safe out there. Stay spooky. Don't fuck any ghosts.
Handle your alcohol.
Handle your alcohol, and don't make any deals with any devils.
Yeah, if you hear 3 knocks on your door, don't answer it.
They warned
it's the devil.
you that the devil would be attractive. Meaning us.
He's gonna ask you if you want to live deliciously, and the answer is, bitch, I can just go to the grocery store and buy sugar cookies, you hoe. I can live deliciously, and I already am living deliciously. Get the fuck out of my house.
Alright. Take care, folks. And hopefully we didn't offend anyone who worships Satan. You guys are valid. Alright, and I'm sorry that, Sabrina, the new Sabrina show, what was that called?
Oh, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, I'm sorry that show did you dirty. Okay, bye!
Yeah. But then just go,
Bye!
Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and we hope that you enjoyed the episode. This episode features the voices of Molly Lorette and Ashley Smith. Our theme music was composed and produced by Larry Lorette. Our cover image was designed by Ashley Smith, and sound editing was done by Molly Lorette. Have any comments, concerns, or cases you want us to cover? Email us at demonsandbellinis@gmail.com. You can also find us at Demons and Bellinis on Tumblr, Demons and Bellinis on Instagram, and at DBellinis on Twitter. That's capital D and capital B. You'll also be able to find case pictures tweeted out there and posted to our Instagram. Also, make sure that if you like what we do here, drop us a donation at Ko-fi, which you can find through our Twitter. Thanks again, and we hope that you keep your ears open.